Hey Taurus, it's Jen here. How are you? This is your mid-April reading. Thanks for joining me. So I just got a little bit in the channeling for you guys. I just want to remind you that on April 27th, there's a full moon in Scorpio. Now I do feel like this is going to affect you just because, now I'm not an astrologer, this is my intuition. But because you're both fixed signs, I feel like you have a connection with Scorpio, even though it's a water sign and you're an earth sign, that there is a connection there and that it will affect you. So right off I got pregnancy. Now, congratulations if you've been trying. For some, it will be a pregnancy scare. It will be unexpected. And it will create and what I'm seeing is that the relationship will either move to the next level or end. I see it just bringing to the forefront. This has been coming up for people lately. This can happen too, for example, if someone gets a job opportunity that would require move or a long distance relationship. Should I stay or should I go? Is this worth it? It just makes you really examine the relationship and your feelings and what you really want. And so I do see, again, either a leveling up of the relationship, a deepening of the relationship, or an ending. And I see with the ending, you just being like, hey, listen, you got two cards here. Good Lord. Yeah, just being super honest. When it comes right down to it, I love you. I see this being quite difficult if you do decide to leave, because you really love this person and for the most part are happy, but you just know there's something missing, and that's even more difficult very difficult to leave someone in those situations, because you're going to you could potentially lose a friend and really hurt someone. And that's maybe why you've been staying in it. It's like on some level, if you are going to leave, you kind of knew for a while, but just we're in denial, or just didn't know how to handle it. So for some of you, though, there may be some sort of difficult situation that happens. Maybe like someone gets COVID and is really sick, or they lose a grandparent or whatever, depending on your age, what's most likely. Or there's just a difficult situation. There's a job loss. There's one of those situations that really that's very challenging for anyone. And so for some of you, I mean, it could be the pregnancy scare, but it could be something else. And again, you're going to see this person in a difficult time, or how they support you and deal with a difficult time as your significant other. And it's really going to bring some things to light, or you're really going to learn more about them. And that could be very good, or you could be like, whew, that not great, Bob. Like, that wasn't great. And it's interesting because in a way you're lucky, because often you don't get to see people in those more difficult times, and then you're really committed and you have kids, and even, I mean, you could have kids now too, but it makes it a lot messier to untangle lives at that point. So this sounds really negative. Again, a lot of you are going to be like, this person's amazing and I want to marry them. I want to have kids with them. I want to grow old with them. It's your love is going, like, the level of intimacy is going to just hit a whole new level of connection. And you'll be certain, like, oh my God, this is definitely the one. What am I waiting for? What else? let's just look at the cards here. Two of Swords, that's a meeting of the minds, a discussion. I'm going to turn over all the cards. King of Cups, ooh, the Lovers right front and center. What are these? Knight of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. That's okay. That's fine. This is a deep discussion. I see you sitting down with someone, probably a lover, a relationship person you're in a relationship with. Can't talk. And really, it's like one of those conversations where you haven't wanted to have it because you're afraid. It feels so difficult and charged, or potentially triggering, or a situation where you really think someone could take it the wrong way, but it's very heartfelt and not meant and mean-spirited, but actually hoping that some things could be discussed and figured out. But we are in denial about it, or we ignore it because on some level we know, okay, this relationship could make or break, this conversation could make or break the relationship. So maybe the person's kind of said, oh, I don't want kids, but you want kids. And for some reason you think, oh, they'll change, or they're just joking. And now you get to the point where, like, do you want kids or not? And if they say no, and you really want kids, you're in that situation. The Lover's card, as much as it is, you can say soulmates or twin flames or whatever your thing is, lovers, two people coming together that way. The message is commitment. Because it's one thing to say, yeah, I do at your wedding, but the commitment comes in all the millions of little choices you make all the time, every day, that shows whether you're committed to the other person or not. Truly committed. It doesn't mean every decision has to be committed to that person, because that would be a little extreme the other way, obviously. But that's an indication of whether someone's truly committed. If someone says, oh, I'm committed to exercise and health, and they eat cheeseburgers and go for a walk once a week, well, I don't know. That's not really showing a true commitment, right? So maybe you're looking at that in yourself. Am I really committed? Are they really committed? I'm noticing all this food here too. So it could be that you're reassessing. Maybe you did some New Year's resolutions, or you just have some bad habits you've been in denial about. And you're like, okay, I need to deal with this. I can't, he can drink too much. Excuse me. But I see you making a commitment. So some of you will be definitely deepening your commitment. And we have a Sag symbol here, which is interesting. The Explorer of Pentacles and Knight of Pentacles is always successful because they just keep putting one foot in front of the other. So taking that first step towards whatever you've been in denial about. Let's use health as an example. Just getting up and walking around the block, or whatever, wherever you are, walking for a certain amount of time. It's kind of nice to go out for me, and I know where the mile markers are and how long certain walks are and certain loops are. Because for some reason I like that. So figuring out, okay, or measuring or tracking your steps or whatever, getting one of those devices that help you with that, tracking your food, really being committed and doing the work, and tracking it could be really helpful for you. Someone maybe, this could be someone, if you're single, for example, sharing their emotions with you. And you could be, this person looks a little surprised, like, oh, Um, and I don't think it's in a bad way. I just think it could be someone that you had no idea. Sometimes people don't, if they have a crush on someone, they they don't want the other person to know, like especially if it's at work, to the point where the other person may think, I don't think they like me. Like they don't really talk to me. They kind of, you know what I'm saying? Um, so it could be sort of clearing the air and admitting or expressing your feelings for each other and then starting this relationship. But I see this as being kind of separate. Well, I see it relating to that, but whatever something you've been putting off, not dealing with, not looking at, not wanting to deal with, is going to, probably with that full moon, come to the surface and need to be dealt with. But I see you doing it. I see you really being okay with it. To me, the Knight of Pentacles is like, okay, you know what? Very practical. We just got to do it. It just needs to happen. I just need to keep doing the things to make that happen. And it's very matter of fact. And that's the way it's going to be. No more pies or cakes or whatever that is. I can't eat the skin on that turkey. I have to limit or stop drinking. If it's really going to happen, I have to do all those things and just very much accepting it and making it happen. All right, Taurus, that's your reading. I hope you have a great month. Take care.